A very heartfelt welcome and congratulations to one and all as we celebrate the completion of 75 years of India's independence. A day to cherish and be proud of. A very happy Independence Day to all of us. I, Dr. Manasvi Maheshwari, Associate Professor, DME Media School, welcome you all to episode 50 of Vibrant India series. I also welcome all our viewers who are there on Zoom. VIS completes 50th episode on August 15. It is indeed a matter of great pride and honor for me to host this episode on this special occasion. Vibrant India series VIS is an initiative of DME Media School for celebrating 75 years of India's independence. VIS has completed 50 episodes today, and we will be hosting another 25 episodes in the coming months. As part of this series, we invite inspiring personalities for online talk, interview, interaction with our students. The invited personalities for this series are from all walks of life and from all parts of the country. And today, our special guest of the day is Professor K.G. Suresh, a senior journalist, columnist, educationist, socio-political commentator, and communication strategist. He is currently serving as Vice Chancellor of Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Mass Communication, Bhopal. We extend our heartfelt welcome to you, sir. I would like to take a moment and introduce Delhi Metropolitan Education to our viewers. Delhi Metropolitan Education, DME, is an A-grade premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi. It is approved by Bar Council of India. The institute offers BBA, BLLB, BBLLB, and BA in JMC programs. DME believes in imparting world-class education to its students while training them to develop and enhance their skills. This education and training enable them in making up challenges of the industry and creating a space for themselves with their competence and vigor. DME Media School is one of the most promising institutes in the country. It offers BA Journalism and Mass Communication. It is recognized as a school focused on growth of its faculty and students through academic and co-curricular activities. Major flagship events and initiatives of the school include B.G. Varghese Lecture Series, Peer-to-Peer FTP, International Film Festival SIFI, International Conference ICANN, Vritika, Convention of Media Students, and newly added to this list is VIS, Vibrant India series. Now, I would like to invite Sajal Mishra, student of DME, to introduce our guest of the day. Sajal.
Thank you, ma'am. It is our privilege to introduce you to the extraordinary personality of episode 50 of the VIS. Guest of the day is multifaceted, an inspiration and a benchmark in himself in the field of journalism. Professor K.G. Suresh is a senior journalist, columnist, educationist, socio-political commentator, and communication strategist. He is currently serving as Vice Chancellor at Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal. Earlier, Sir has served as Director General at Indian Institute of Mass Communication. Professor Suresh is a founder, Dean of School of Modern Media, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, UPES, Dehradun. He has been editorial consultant with Asian News Network. Sir has been a chief political correspondent with Press Trust of India, Group Media Advisor at Delimia Bharat Enterprises Limited. He is a recipient of the prestigious Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi Award. Mr. Suresh was designated as Commonwealth Youth Ambassador for Peace by Commonwealth Youth Program Asia. He is also the founder of President Global Media Education Council. Professor K.G. Suresh is a TEDx speaker. Professor Suresh has successfully completed an experiential course in public health communication from the University of Oxford, United Kingdom. Professor Suresh is a recipient of Prem Bhatia Fellowship for Research in Media by Young Journalists. In December 2017, Professor Suresh was conferred with PRSI Leadership Award, serving PTI in different capacities for over a decade, including as Chief Crime Reporter, Deputy Chief Reporter, Special Correspondent, and Chief Political Correspondent. Professor Suresh has traveled across India and the world to cover development. A list of achievement is never ending. We are humbled to have persona of this stature with us. I now request the technical team to show some glimpses from his life.
Thank you, sir, for joining us today. It is indeed an honor to host you. I now request Dr. Shushmita Bala, Head GME Media School, to welcome the guest.
Thank you, Dr. Manasvi. Welcome everybody to episode 50 of Vibrant India series. We launched this digital program on August 9 in 2021 on the anniversary of Quit India movement. And we are presenting episode 50 of this program on August 50th, 2022, while India is celebrating 76th its Independence Day. Vibrant India series is an initiative of BME Media School, Delhi Metropolitan Education. It is an online series to get inspiration from distinguished personalities. This program has been conceptualized and created by Professor Ambrish Saxena. Vibrant India series is a tribute to all those people who have made supreme sacrifices for the independence of our motherland. This program is a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, a celebration on India completing 75 years of independence. Let us have a look at the eminent personalities who have graced the VIS during the last 1 year. 8 personalities from the Defense Forces have participated in VIS till date. Those personalities belong to the Indian Army, Air Force, and BSF. These include Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia, Dr. Brigadier P.K. Saxena, R.K. Dargan, Captain Dharmveer Singh, Group Captain Ashok Yachordia, and Mr. Virendra Kumar Gaur from BSF, and Squadron Leader Prerna Chaturvedi. From the field of education and science, 5 personalities from the education sector comprising education planning, teaching, and research have participated in VIS. 4 personalities from the journalism, broadcasting, and entertainment sectors have joined the VIS. 2 senior journalists, Mr. Rajesh Badal and Mr. Shambhunath Shukla, have graced this program, while Mr. Sanjay Banerjee belonged to the broadcasting industry as commentator. Dr. Ashish Kulkarni represents the entertainment and animation industry. From the social sector, 7 personalities, including 6 women, have participated in VIS. 7 personalities belong to art, theatre, and literature, participated in VIS. 2 personalities from the field of law and human rights have graced these VIS sessions. 14 women have participated in 48 episodes of VIS. I have already mentioned about 6 women working in the social sector, 1 in the Air Force, 1 in human rights, and 1 in theatre participated in VIS. I also want to make a mention of Ms. Indrani Singh, a pilot, Miss Pallavi Fauzdar, an adventure motorcyclist, Miss Sachi Soni, a mountaineer, Miss Saloni Sacheti, an entrepreneur in the Forbes list, and Miss Vandana Mahajan, who is a cancer survivor and a cancer coach. 3 police officers have also participated in VIS. These include 2 former IPS officers, Mr. Amod Kant and Mr. Vibhuti Narayan Rai. Mr. Rajendra Singh, former ACP of Delhi Police and a celebrated cop, has also featured in VIS. 3 senior IS officers have also graced the VIS. These include Mr. Ashok Pradhan, Mr. Bimal Julka, Mr. DJ Narayan. Mr. S.P. Rawal, author, Mr. Augustine Valeth, Sufi Sayyid Azmal Nizami, Mr. Balendu Sharma Dadhiji, Mr. Satish Saxena have also participated in VIS from the other fields of society. So, today in episode 50, we have with an unique personality, Professor K.G. Suresh, who is a multifaceted person, a scholar, journalist, and administrator, and above all, a decent human being. सर, आज इस 50th एपिसोड में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आज का यह एपिसोड 2 तरह से बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। पहला यह कि ये हमारा 50वां एपिसोड है और दूसरे आज हम 15th अगस्त को इसका सेलिब्रेशन कर रहे हैं। सो थैंक यू सर एंड वेलकम टू ज्वाइन this episode VIS. Thank you. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for listing out the galaxy of experts we have hosted till now in VIS. Today, we have amongst us Mr. Aman Sahani, Vice Chairman of DME, a young and visionary leader who has always been a great supporter and motivator for all of us. I request you to share a few words with all of us, sir, on this special day.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. And a very happy Independence Day to everybody. It is indeed a very special day for all of us. And what better way to celebrate it than to continue this wonderful series that we've started of having 75 eminent people sharing their stories, interacting with us. And it is indeed a very inspiring thing for us to witness each episode. And I was thinking we look for moments of motivation and inspiration in our everyday lives. And many of us read a lot. I personally read a lot of biographies, trying to find that continuous inspiration, just that extra energy to do a little bit better every day. And through this series, now on a more or less weekly basis, we've managed to have very successful, very good people share their success stories, what triggered them, what is it that makes them stand apart from everybody else. And there's been so much to learn for all of us. And today in particular, I'm very happy, I'm delighted, in fact, that we have Professor K.G. Suresh with us, who's been for long now a well-wisher for our institute. I'm always very happy to see him. So without further ado, let us continue. My best wishes to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Ambrish Saxena, Dean DME Media School, originator and ideator of VIS, to take the program forward. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Manasi. All has been said that regarding this occasion. Obviously, this is a rare occasion when we are completing 75 years of independence. And originally, our idea was, when we started this Vibrant India series in 2021, to complete 75 episodes in 1 year, when we will be completing 75 years of independence. But nevertheless, we made our best efforts. We could complete 50 episodes today, and within this year, I believe another 25 episodes will be completed. And the task was really difficult, in the sense the way we conceived the whole idea. We were trying to bring out all such people, irrespective of their age, irrespective of all other factors, those who could contribute to the society society and who could inspire. Inspiration is the first and the foremost thing, because we are an educational institution and we teach students, and besides the classroom teaching and all, the most important thing is how to keep them motivated and how to lead them to do something good in their lives, which could make their lives better, and and then it can also make some contribution towards the health of the society. So in this series, as we have four segments of this program, after this first segment, if I can tell you, Professor KG Suresh, that the next segment we will be requesting you to narrate your own life journey, and the whole idea behind this is why we ask any guest to narrate the life journey, because one, that it is from the horse's mouth, and secondly, if it is coming from the person concerned with all the challenges that you would have faced in your life, all kind of problems that you would have come across, and then how you came out with those challenges, wherein there could be some such experiences of yours, some such anecdotes which if you tell us, then could be inspiring, and the young people particularly, they can understand that even if there are problems in life, you need not to stop, you have to move ahead. That's the only way that you can do something in your life. So that is the second segment, wherein I will request you to speak for about 15-20 minutes. It's up to you how you narrate the whole thing. That will be followed by a question answer session, wherein I will be putting up a few questions based on whatever you would have told us, or to extract something more from you. And in the fourth segment, the floor will be open to the students, wherein they will be asking questions to you. So it will be then completely an interactive session. So that is all about the format of the program. So without further delay, I will request you, Professor KG Suresh, to please take it over from here and narrate your life journey to us.
Thank you. How much time do I have in this segment?
15-20 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Very good evening and happy Independence Day. Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. आप सभी को मुबारक हो. To a dear friend and Professor Ambrish Saxena, who is also the General Secretary of the Global Media Education Council, my colleague at GMAC. Dr. Sushmita Bala, Vishal Sahai Saab, Dr. Manaswi, and of course, the very dynamic Aman Sahani ji. Young and dynamic, his leadership is certainly taking DME places. Always a pleasure to be at DME. DME is a home away from home for me. Literally also. In Delhi, my home is in Mayur Vihar and this is in Indrapuram. So it's next door.
It's in Noida.
Yeah, it's in Noida. Sorry. And I am based out of course, currently I'm based out of Bhopal. And I've been closely associated, of course, with Professor Saxena for a long time. And ever since he joined, and even before when Dr. Sushmita was there, I've been closely associated with DME, taking part in almost every program. When I was Director General at Indian Institute of Mass Communication, we became partners in many of the events that you host, including the film festivals. And now that I'm at MCU, MCU is an academic partner of most of your, initiatives. So greetings from Asia's first and India's largest media university. And congratulations for starting this Vibrant India series, which I believe is the need of the hour, because the younger generation need to connect with, because we sometimes, when we get things free, we tend to undervalue them. We do not recognize how much of hardship has gone into getting that democracy, getting that freedom, which today is available to us. We start taking things for granted. So Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and Vibrant India series enables us to reconnect to the past and enables us to know about our country, the challenges before us, the opportunities before us. And of course, I don't consider myself a great celebrity, except small contribution to media and media education. But nevertheless, it's a great honor that you invited me. And when you took some of the names, they're all very, most of them are known to me. Many of them have worked closely with me, including you took the name of Sachi Soni. She was my student at Indian Institute of Mass Communication. So it was such an honor, to listen to, how a great program you had organized. And really on August 15th, celebrating the 50th episode, I'm fortunate to be part of this. Thank you, Ambrish ji. Coming to my own experience, I don't know where to begin. To sum up, a 5.5 decades of my life into 10 minutes would not be that easy, but I'll let me give it a try about some of the big challenges that I faced. In my childhood, I was afflicted with polio. Not many people know, because today I walk normally. But I think more than me, it is the parents who actually, struggled and did everything possible because for some reason, because of, I used to have a lot of childhood related illnesses. And because of that, they did not, at the appropriate time, they could not administer the polio drops. And it took a turn for the worse. And I was virtually paralyzed. And today I keep telling, whenever I go for the functions of differently abled, that, somehow, I would say that my parents, the divinity, they have all been kind enough. But so I understand the pain, the struggles of the differently abled much better. So it's a different avatar a different life altogether that I got after that. And similarly, I lost both my parents at a young age. And I had to start from the scratch all over, including, teaching my siblings, taking care of their education, making them settle down, and then, settling down myself. So it was pretty late by the time, I started settling down. So my kids are still school going. So life has not been easy, but I never gave up. I had enough reasons, all the reasons to, go into drugs, go into booze, start smoking, and get into all kinds of, what we consider as unhealthy habits. I won't call a habit good or bad. I would call it unhealthy habits. They're certainly not healthy. They may not be good or bad. That's for each one of you to decide. But they are certainly unhealthy habits. I did not get into any of them. Rather, I focused myself on the positive aspects of life. And I would say that, that my smile is not artificial. It comes from within. And people know me for that, So I think that I've seen life from very close quarters. A lot of people saw life from close quarters after COVID-19. But in my younger days itself, God gave me that experience. So it may sound a very little idealistic, and it may sound a little, kind of philosophical, like I'm reflecting something, reading out from the Gita. But honestly, I have reached that stage, having seen all this, right from my young age, I have reached a level where, neither great happiness or sadness consumes me. I remain a very, I try to remain balanced in all situations, because I've seen the worst. So you should not take life, honestly, very seriously, in the sense that let not things influence your life. Let not events influence your life so much that, you are not able to live a full life. We all pass through that stage, defeat. And I still remember I wanted to be a journalist right from day one. My dad was in government. He wanted me to be a civil servant. And I did not want to be. And I did not appear for a single civil service examination. I am proud that I'm not a journalist by compulsion, having flunked all the civil service examinations and having nothing else to do, join the profession. But I am a journalist by choice. This was my first choice, and this will always be my first choice throughout my life. I have not yet hung my boots. I can always make a comeback as a journalist. Still, I have the curiosity of a cat. I still, events can actually, if something happens, I'm ready to work the whole night. I've still maintained the same routine, despite the fact that for the last almost a decade, I'm holding senior positions in government. I'm mentioning that I had senior positions in private sector also, but in government senior positions, when I'm specifically focusing on that, that means that I had a 10 to 6 job schedule, but I still work 10 to 10. It's more than 12 hours a day I work. Even today, about 14 hours a day is my routine. And I have the same habits of a journalist, and it is because it is my choice. It is my passion. I followed my passion. It was very difficult. There was a lot of resistance from home, from relatives, who felt that I should be in a government job. It's an irony that, though I did not join the civil service, I became Director General of IIMC, a rank equivalent to that of Additional Secretary to the Government of India of the senior IAS officers at a age, when IAS officers themselves cannot reach that position, so they reach Additional Secretary rank in their mid-50s. But I got that rank in my mid-40s. So, so sometimes life takes unique turns, So my, thing is that my I have always felt that I have never blamed anybody for my situation. And that's because I've taken I've made my own choices, whether it be my job or whether it be my marriage. So I don't have anybody else to blame for, that it's my choice. So please do not ask everyone on the street what you need to do, I mean, take a call. There's no point. Okay, there is nothing wrong in seeking an opinion or a view, but the call should be yours. You should take the call on what you want to do in life. Don't. That's been my experience. So the good thing about it is that otherwise you end up blaming, others for the mess in your life. Oh, had I not listened to that person, had I listened to that person, why? I think that take your own decision, then you are be the master of your destiny. That's very important. And when you make blunders, they are your blunders, not your dad's blunders, not your neighbor's blunders, not your friend's blunders. They are your blunders. So, and when you, succeed, it is your success. You have worked on it. And please, at any cost, create, I would say that, have your own specialization in whichever field, in whichever domain you go, because people should know you for your domain. People should know that this is, so then nothing. I'll give you an experience. I mean, an example. When I was Director General at IIMC, I am the first professional to have been appointed Director General. Even the present incumbent is an academic. So I'm not an academic. I'm a hardcore professional media person, and I came into this line. But once my tenure got over, I was not dependent on anybody, because I had worked so much in the work given to me that the academia accepted me, with whole heart. They knew that, because of course I've been teaching alongside my journalism. I was teaching at Indian Institute of Mass Communication since 1998. I've been teaching there as a visiting faculty, and the good and what this does to you is that, when I left that job, I was immediately taken by the University of Petroleum and Energy Studies. They took me on board. They invited me to join their board. And once I got there and set up the School of Modern Media there, then I got a call from the government again, this time as Vice Chancellor. So be a specialist. Don't dabble in everything under the sun. Of course, out of interest, I also dabble, in a lot of things. But then I know my specialization. So while be a jack of all trades, you should be a master of one. Earlier, the mantra was a jack of all trades and master of none. I would say be a jack of all trades and a master of one. So, so media and media education, became my domain. But that doesn't mean that I ever I had any kind of arrogance about it. I always felt that I'm a student. I'm learning. So that is the second most important attitude that you should have. That I will always be a student. Let me learn as much as possible. Because the knowledge is so vast that once Newton mentioned that, I am like that person who is standing in front of the ocean of knowledge and searching for pebbles on the seashore. So, there is so much to learn from everybody, from every situation. Be a learner. The day you think that you know everything, that's the end of your growth. As a human being, as a professional, your growth gets stunted. So always be a great learner, be a student all through your life, because life teaches you it is the greatest school in the world, which teaches you a lot. When you meet people, when you interact with people, when you read books, you learn so much, so many things. And for me, more than books, it is a lot of observation, that has brought me to where I am. I'm a keen observer of things. I observe everything. I try to observe and learn from there. So I don't have to read a book to understand the changes that's happening in the society today. I just have to open my eyes, keep my eyes open, and I can see them. A very important aspect is that try to keep your eyes and ears open and the mouth a little shut. This is very important. We often tend to close our eyes and ears and keep the mouth open. That doesn't take you anywhere. It will create more enemies for you. And you sound to be very hollow when you're speaking without listening, when you're writing without reading. So it's important that you should keep your eyes and your ears open. That's very important. I always think that one thing that most of us don't have godfathers. We only have our hard work to sustain. And when you have only hard work, then you need to channelize your work in the right direction. That's important. Because perhaps there is nobody more hardworking than the Sherpa in the Himalayas or the coolie at the railway station. But where does that hard work take him or her? There are the rickshaw pullers who work hard day and night. What is important is that, are you working hard in the right direction? That's important. So it's not just hard work, but hard work in the right direction. That's important. Often we tend to forget that. I am working hard day and night. But if it's in the wrong direction, it really is not going to help. So, if you are only a Sherpa and if you don't become the mountaineer, then you remain anonymous. Only when you become the mountaineer and when you climb the Everest, then only your hard work is recognized. Otherwise, you might have climbed, somebody climbs once and they get all the acclaim. You have climbed the same peak 17 times. Nobody has even heard about your name. So your hard work should be in the right direction. That's important. Where are you putting your hard work? And I have always believed that, please don't use people. This use and throw may help you initially. You think that, okay, this is the secret of success. Let me use and throw people. Please remember that when you climb the stairs to success, the needle of the clock always doesn't remain at 12. It also comes down to 6. When you're coming down, then if you have already burnt the ladder, then the only way is to jump. And nobody is going to help you in making that come down smooth. It's the friends that you make on your way up that's going to matter. So it's about teamwork. You have to be a team member. You have to. There's nothing wrong in thinking about self. Everybody thinks about oneself. But there's a difference between thinking about yourself and being self-centered. That I think only about myself. It doesn't take you anywhere. When you grow, as you grow, you need a team to back you up. If I'm the president of the Global Media Education Council, There won't be any GMAC if I don't have people like Professor Ambrish Saxena, Professor Ujjwal Chaudhary. These are the people who are the backbone of that organization. So, oh, I'm the president. No, it doesn't work like it. We are one team when it comes to GMAC. The same holds true for anything. DME, Makhanlal University. Yes, as the captain of the ship, I get the credit, but don't forget that, when the ship sinks, even then the captain is held responsible for that. So I should be ready both for the bouquets and the bouquet and the brickbats. So it's not just bouquets that you get when you are the leader. Have a large heart as you grow up. Don't remain petty. It doesn't take you again anywhere. You should learn as you grow to forget and forgive. If you are going to hold small grudges, I can assure you they keep you bogged down. You will be all the time thinking not about the good things that you have got in life, but what your neighbor has got. Your main obsession will be why your neighbor or why your friend, why your batchmate, why your colleague has got something. So I will conclude. I have a lot of things to say. You cannot sum up, as I said, in 10 to 15 minutes. But please count your blessings. Be grateful in life that God has been so kind. I had the blues that I had no shoes until upon the street I met a man who had no feet. God, destiny, fortune, whatever you call it, has been kind to us that we are walking on our two legs. We have got an income that can take care of our families. We have got a vehicle to move around. We have got a smartphone to get connected. We have got the basic facilities of life. The next meal is not a challenge. Be thankful to whomsoever it is. That yes, thank you life, thank you Zindagi for whatever you have given me. I don't mind if you give more, but please give something to the downtrodden or the marginalized, because without them, the world will look really. Imagine you are staying in a bungalow and all around you there are only slums. Will you enjoy that sight of people in utter poverty? So your prayer should be that, okay, God, give me a lot. मुझको भी तू लिफ्ट करा दे, लेकिन वो जो सामने है उसको भी करा दे, वो भी मोहताज ना हो. Let us not spread poverty. Let us distribute prosperity. Let us distribute happiness, because you never know what's going to happen the next moment, the next day, the next year. So, yesterday is a cancelled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is cash. Use it. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor Suresh, for making such an interesting talk. And also at the same time to tell all those things which are important for everybody, not only for the young people in this session, for everybody to keep in mind for once your own growth, and then for taking everybody along in your team and outside. Now, one thing I would like to ask, since you started your career as a journalist and then you turned to casual teaching and the full-time teaching plus administration and all, but talking about journalism,
we have traveled on the same path.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So talking about journalism particularly, what what has been your experience as a journalist? As you yourself said, that's the first and the foremost thing in your life, and which also gives you and me the kind of contentment that we look for. So what is that one thing in journalism which you feel makes it the best thing that you feel like do?
Okay. I think that, unlike any other job, and I'm not being critical of any other job, all jobs are important. But I believe that that you can learn something new every day. Every event unfolds a lot of new things which you are not witness to. I have covered political developments. I have covered mishaps, accidents. I've seen with my own bare eyes what happened at the Upahar, fire tragedy. I saw with my own eyes the world's worst air tragedy, the Charkhi Dadri mid-air collision. The bodies were lying before me. I've seen cyclones, tsunamis, floods, bodies hanging all over, dead bodies lying around. So that kind of an experience actually, I think that prepares you for life. That's what journalism teaches you. You come to close quarters, you get to see the high and the mighty, their frailties, their strengths, how things, how perceptions change. Sitting in our drawing rooms, we have a different perception of life. But when you hit ground zero, the reality is different. When you go into the interiors and see the kind of life the poor and downtrodden live, you realize that, life is not easy for many, rather a majority of the people, the kind of struggles that they have to undergo. These are all the kind of insights that you get every day. That is what is different about journalism and other professions.
I would like to ask one thing more, and then since the students are waiting for their turn for just one thing, and since you are now into media education full time, not only education, the administering the things. So what do you feel with all your experience these years? What is the biggest challenge in media education that you have come across?
Well, the biggest challenge, I believe, is that there are a couple of them, but the biggest is that media education is yet to evolve as a discipline. We are yet to be recognized as an important segment or as an important component for the training of an individual as a media person. In the same manner that doing a MBBS is important for a doctor, still there are many in the industry and elsewhere who think that media need not be taught. You can have a smartphone and if you know how to write, you can become a media person. That's not the case. It is a skill which needs to be imparted. That's the biggest, that convincing that both the industry and the common man that you need to be a trained journalist. And second, of course, is language, which is a big challenge. Our command over the language. It's a big language. And as a media educator, the one big thing, because there are a lot of students here, they have stopped reading. That's the big challenge. They need to read a lot. They need to read books. They need to read a lot of content, because only then that will only expand their vocab, only that will expand their command over the language, only that will take them places, their expertise. That's very important. This reading is very important. Yeah.
Right. So, since I asked this question particularly since this whole crowd comprising journalism and mass communication, the student now, if they are listening to you, they can understand the importance of language, the importance of reading, and then importance of trying to get more and more understanding, knowledge, skill, what is required to join them, the media profession, whichever platform or whichever part of the media they join finally after completing their education. Now, moving on to the last segment of the program, I will request the students to please switch on their cameras and ask their questions. Yeah, Khushi, you want to ask question? Please ask.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to everybody. So my question to you is, how has your experience been as columnist, and what would you suggest us?
As a columnist?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The difference between a journalist and columnist is that journalist is expected to be neutral. And journalist, when I am talking about journalist, I'm talking about a reporter. As a reporter, I have to report what I see, not what I feel. That's the big difference. As a columnist, I write what I feel, what I think. My thinking doesn't matter when I am a reporter. I report the facts. As a columnist, I take a particular line, a viewpoint on a particular issue. It could be anything, from economics to sports to films. It could be anything. And I have a point of view, which I'm telling my audience. But as a reporter, I don't have a point of view. I'm reporting what is there on the ground. I'm reporting what A thinks, B thinks, C thinks, and D thinks. I'm not reporting what I think. My voting preferences does not find a reflection in my reportage. But in my column, if I have a political viewpoint, if I have an ideological viewpoint, if I have a take on certain things, I express that. That is the fundamental difference between a reporter and a columnist. So as a columnist, you should be, widely read. You should read extensively to develop a thought process of your own. Because unless you have that even a journalist requires, no doubt about it. But as a columnist, if suppose I am going to write about the abolition of Article 370, I should read it ad nauseum. I should know every aspect, its history, its present status, its constitutional validity, the Supreme Court cases, every aspect of it. Only then I give my viewpoint and buttress it with arguments. That is the big difference. You have to do a lot of homework to become a columnist. When I am writing something, I need to do a lot of homework. I'm not just going to the field and reporting what I see. Here, it's all dependent on your study, your understanding, your observation, that you become a columnist.
Thank you, Professor Suresh. Now, moving on, Nikhil Gupta, please ask your question.
Good evening, sir. मेरा नाम निखिल गुप्ता, मैं first year का student हूँ. It was great honor to listen you, sir. I am very happy. The way you are talking, the way you are giving the quotes and mantra, it's just hitting in me and my heart. And in the starting, you said the smile. That is really, truly, it's natural, sir. It's amazing. So now my questions to you is that कि मीडिया एजुकेशन को कोई सरकारी मान्यता प्राप्त नहीं है. कहीं ना कहीं ये मीडिया स्टूडेंट के प्रति एक अन्याय है, जैसे मैं कह सकते हैं इसको. और यूपीएससी या कोई भी सिविल एग्जाम्स होते हैं या मास कॉम को एक एज अ सब्जेक्ट होना चाहिए, एज अ कोर्स होना चाहिए. इससे हमारे कोर्स की क्रेडिबिलिटी भी बढ़ती है और हमें इन एग्जाम को देने के लिए कोई और कोर्स नहीं करना पड़ता है। तो मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि मीडिया जगत के प्रोफेसर्स, पर्सनैलिटीज, जर्नलिस्ट और लोग इसके प्रति क्या कदम उठा रहे हैं या सरकार इसके प्रति क्या कर रही है?
देखिए, सरकार तो अभी कुछ नहीं कर रही है, हमें ही करना है, हमें आपको करना है
जी।
तो हमें आपको अपना सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से अम्बरीश जी को और मुझे जीमेक जैसे संस्थाओं के माध्यम से हमको इस विषय को आगे उठाना है। मैं पूरी तरह सहमत हूं। वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट पॉइंट्स ऑन विच आई हैव बीन वर्किंग, कैंपेनिंग फॉर is that mass communication should be recognized as a subject in UPSC examination as an optional, and that is a big challenge. It will bring us a lot of students. You know, our students will get a great opportunity to become good administrators also. अभी हम या तो मीडिया पर्सन्स बन सकते हैं या हम एकेडमिक्स में जा सकते हैं, तीसरा विकल्प नहीं है। तो ये तीसरा विकल्प होना बहुत जरूरी है। मैं समझता हूं कि इस दिशा में हमें आपको सबको कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर हमको काम करना है। आप अपने स्तर पर, हम लोग अपने स्तर पर इसके लिए प्रयास करेंगे और मुझे विश्वास है कि देखिए, अल्टीमेटली लोकतंत्र में सरकार को जनता के जो आकांक्षाएं हैं उस पर उतरना ही पड़ेगा, आज नहीं तो कल। थोड़ा समय लग सकता है, देर है मगर अंधेर नहीं है।
So we all should be optimistic on this count. And moving on, Ishika Shaw, ask your question.
Greetings, sir. Greetings, everyone. Sir, myself Ishika Shaw, and my question to you is, how do we equip ourselves to cope up with the changing needs of the media industry every day?
Well, today you need to be a multitasker. Ishika, even if you are only interested in print, don't just be confined to print. You should be equally good in electronic. You should be equally good in digital. If that doesn't happen, then, you know, we are moving into an era of integrated newsrooms, convergence, when you need people who are equally good in writing, equally good in speaking, and equally good in using the social media. So you need to be multitaskers in this changing era. It is the Darwinian theory which is at work in media today. It is struggle for survival and survival of the fittest. So you need to be among the fittest if you have to survive. Because in media today, the average age of saturation is slowly coming down to early 40s. After that, once you reach the peak, then people think that you can be replaced at 1/4 your cost. This is unlike any other profession. As a doctor, when you become senior, you get more paid. As a lawyer, when you become senior, you get paid more. But as a journalist, when you become too senior, you lose your job. Because they are always constantly on the lookout for young people. Because it's a profession of the young. So you need not be physically young. You need to be young at heart and young in mind if you have to take part in the long run. So you have to constantly adapt new technology, adapt to new situation. It's adapt and adopt. And as I said, become multitaskers. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Suresh. Now moving on, Shiksha, ask your question.
Hello, sir. I'm Shiksha, first year student. It's been 75 years of independence, and there have been a lot of changes in the media sector. But eventually, the trust toward media is decreasing with upcoming years. And I want your perspective that what kind of major changes you think we can bring to improve the condition of media as youngsters.
Okay. Don't be activists, be factivists. Focus on facts. You have to focus on facts. Today, a lot of people are peddling a lot of things on social media, but they are not necessarily based on facts. Only facts can bring you credibility. I have a problem with the word truth when media houses use the word truth, because your truth may be different from my truth. Okay. So as they say that, somebody's freedom struggle is someone else's terrorism. So that is the truth. It's not truth that is important, because truth may differ from person to person, but fact will not differ. So stick to facts. Your credibility is assured.
Yeah, so Shiksha, a lot of difficult questions you need to handle with to get the right answer. So Sajal, you will also be asking question? Yeah, so ask.
Sir, it was really insightful session. So I wanted to know, according to you, what is true independence in the media field?
True independence.
As we are celebrating Independence Day.
Good, good, good. True independence is freedom with responsibility. Freedom without responsibility, a sense of responsibility, is license. Freedom with responsibility. Freedom is not unbridled. Freedom comes with responsibility. Rights come with duties. If we isolate each other, the two, then it's going to be problematic. So what is important is that we need to understand that both are complementary to each other. So once that happens, then I think that we are going to enhance our freedom also. Because when you abuse somebody without facts, obviously that person is going to hit you back. Then you say freedom of speech is under threat. It doesn't happen like that. But when you speak with credibility, with facts, then nobody can challenge you. So you have to be a factivist.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Suresh, for underlining the real things for these young budding media professionals. So now we move towards the end of this program. And if I'm asked to sum up, Professor Suresh, you said so many pertinent things, particularly as you were answering the questions that we have to work on our credibility in journalism. If somebody is joining the media sector and particularly journalism, we have to be fair, we have to be factual, we have to be to take care that whatever is taken to the people, that's in the right earnest. And to become a good media person, as you said, the prerequisite is that you have to be skilled, you have to be knowledgeable. So we all have to work a lot to enhance our knowledge, which can come through more and more reading. I also believe in this, that once you read, anybody who reads, what you're reading is not that much material. You might be interested in novels, you might be interested in autobiographies, or whatever kind of literature or whatever kind of writings you might be interested in. But then we should have a knack for reading, and that will eventually lead to be good writers, to good speakers, to good orators, which all is required, whichever part of the media you are in. As you said, that nowadays this whole phase of the integrated newsroom has entered, wherein you are not supposed to be only print journalists or only the TV journalists and all. You have to be good in writing, you have to be good in speaking, you have to be good in presentation, which is so essential to work in today's media. And one has to keep his or her eyes open, as you said, and there is no substitute to hard work. Hard work is again something which we believe we all need to understand, particularly the young people, uh, the younger generation. They need to understand this, that they have to work hard to make a space for themselves. All talent, everything will be there. But then if you're not working properly with diligence, with your direction defined, as Professor Suresh said, so you have to work hard, you have to work in the right direction, and then obviously you will achieve the goal. And there is no end to this, that once you achieve it, then the matter is over. You have to consistently work in the direction which can take you forward. Also, Professor Suresh talked about team spirit, which is again essential, whether you are working in the media or in media education, media particularly, because when we talk about newsroom, when we talk about input and output, there has to be a coordination. And when everybody is working along, only then the right kind of result can be found. So this is again something which we all again need to learn. And final thing, as Professor Suresh pointed out, we have to be thankful to life, whatever we have. We have to have the contentment, because we are always having grudges, then that will lead us to nowhere. So I actually believe in, myself believe in that. So that is really necessary. We have to work for prosperity. We have to work for happiness. I'm quoting the words which was said by Professor Suresh. So these are the takeaways in this session, and that is in fact the virtue of these kind of exercises, that this Vibrant India series that we are having, that we always have something as takeaway, and which we try to translate in our lives, to learn in our lives. And that's the final. So thank you, Professor K.G. Suresh, to spend so much time to be with us in this session. And I thank everybody in this session, particularly Mr. Azadi, who was kind enough to be there in this session throughout, and all my faculty members in DME Media School, and all the students, because the number in this session is more of the first year student. This is despite the fact that they are having their university examination of the second semester, but still they found it attractive enough, interesting enough, that they should join this session. So I thank to all my students as well. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.